What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to talk about the Backstage Pass. It is a full money and rarity guide. It's an update from the previous video we've done for this a little while ago, because there has been a lot more cars added to the game since then, and also because a lot of these prices and rarities have changed. So we are going to do an update on that. Also, if you guys haven't, real quick, go check out the merch. It is linked down below. I think this stuff is really cool, and I really like it. A lot of the stuff turned out really well. As you can see, I got a lot of the stickers, and then I have the t-shirt. It's really nice. So if you want to support the channel in some way or another, you can go check out the merch down below, or you can join the Pikckyy family, and you can go to the YouTube channel page and click the join button, and there's a bunch of memberships there. Wanted to give a shout out and say thank you real quick to Salad Dressing for being the first person to ever purchase membership on the channel. He got the Pikckyy Bro tier. Really appreciate him for that. Thank you so much. And yeah, let's move straight into the video. I'm going to try to move slightly fast. There is a ton of notes for this. I'm going to give you guys top 3 for money and top 3 for rarity after I go through all the cars and explain their current rarity and their worth. But I am going to try to keep it as short as possible, because there is a lot of cars in here, and I'm going to try to go through and explain every single car just real fast, so you guys know what's worth it and what's not worth it. Let's get right into it. The 599 XX Evo Ferrari. This car used to be very rare, but it seems like it's not super rare anymore. It's worth about 10 million, and there's quite a bit on the marketplace. They do sell pretty well. 1999 Lotus Elise, not rare anymore, worth about 7.7 million. Moving on from that, the Hot Wheels Ford Mustang. This car is semi-rare. There's a few on the market at any given time, and they're worth about 8.2 million. The Gymkhana Unicorn V2. This car is very rare, not on the market very often at all. I do have a few myself from doing drift competitions and having generous viewers who helped out with my collecting early on. It will likely never surpass 2 million, but it is very, very rare. The Porsche 914. This used to be extremely rare. Now it's more so in the semi-rare or uncommon area of things, with there being, you know, anywhere from 5 to 15 on the market at a time, and they're worth about 9 to 10 million. The price does fluctuate though, so watch out for that. 2018 Honda Civic Type R. This car was one of the most rare cars in the game, and it still is extremely rare, but it's worth about 10.4 million. You're guaranteed to get that price if you sell it for that price. And I actually just picked one up last night when I first tried to record this video and didn't have any of my audio on. So I did get one, and that's why I don't think it's ultra rare, but it is really rare. I could have just gotten super lucky. But yeah. Moving on, we have the TVR Tuscan S. Very rare due to lack of desire by many people. But it's worth about 8 million. Used to be worth about 10 million, and it's dropped a little bit in price. But still will likely sell for 8 million. It's not super rare, because I do see it pop up sometimes, but it is a very rare car. The Nissan Twin Turbo Z, not super rare anymore, and it sits between 9 to 12 million, but fluctuates quite a lot. So be careful with that one. The price does move around quite a bit. 65 Pontiac GTO, one of the rarest cars in the game by far. Only worth about 1 million, but highly desired and very hard to get. That being said, Backstage passes are being added to the game a lot, so you will have an opportunity to get this car if you don't have it already. So do not stress out if you're trying to get your hands on this. Just be patient, grab another Backstage pass, and pick it up. The Hudson Hornet, slightly uncommon right now. There is quite a bit of them on the market, and they're worth about 8 million. So really cool car, worth a little bit of money, and pretty fun to drive. Number 25 Mustang, semi-rare. When I first bought it, it was about 8.2 million a while ago, and I figured that was usually the price it sits around. But right now it is only worth 6.5 million and has kind of traded place with its number 88 counterpart in pricing. The Hot Wheels Twin Mill, pretty uncommon. There's a lot of cars up there for it right now, but sometimes there is droughts where it doesn't really go on the market too much. That being said, it is worth about 8 million and usually sits in that range. So if you're looking to pick one up, that's about the price that you're going to get it for. Mustang RTR Spec 5, not very rare anymore. The price fluctuates a absolute ton, probably more than any other car on this list. It's currently sitting between 10 to 12 mil, but it's gone down to 8 mil. It's gone down to 6 mil. It's gone up to 15 mil, and it's even hit 20 at one point. Be careful with this car. If you're going to get it, I'd sell it quick, or if you don't have one, obviously just keep it. But the price does move around a lot on this, so just be wary of that. The Z4 Roadster, somehow this car is rare. I'm not really sure how, but I used to have one like before it was even added to the Backstage Pass, and it was one of the first cars they added to the Backstage Pass and kind of ruined the rarity for me and having it before other people. It's only worth about 1 million. It's not that great of a car, but it is very rare right now due to there not being any on the market at all. But it wasn't rare for a while after they added to the game and after they added to the Backstage Pass, because they did give them out for in the Forza shop too, not that long ago. So they are rare, but they're not rare in a way where it would be highly desired. The Mercedes-Benz X-Class, not very rare and only worth about 1 million, because it was either in this playlist or the last playlist very recently, so it plummeted from 6 mil down to 1 mil, so they're actually worthless now. The number 88 Mustang, this car's rare-ish. There's usually, you know, anywhere from 3 to 5 or 10 on the market at any given time. They're worth about 8 million, and like I said, kind of flip prices with the number 25. This one used to be worth 6, and now it used to be worth 8, and then they flipped. And now they're both worth the other price respectively. The 2017 Hoonigan Fiesta, extremely rare, worth about 10 million, and one of the rarest cars in the game. Very cool, very iconic, extremely hard to get if you're trying to just snipe it straight up. But is a very cool car and definitely worth getting your hands on. Very fun to drive and just very cool in general and worth a lot of money. The 2019 GT3 RS, formerly ultra rare. The price did tank due to being given out to all players for free. But I actually ended up having 4 of these, and then they gave them out to everybody for free. And it really was one of the rarest cars and one of the hardest ones you can get. And it kind of killed the entire market for them in rarity and in price. They're kind of worthless now, only being worth 200K. That's definitely not a car you want to waste your Backstage Pass on. So just keep an eye out for that. The 1984 Honda Civic CRX Mugen, one of the other rarest cars in the game, almost impossible to get through the auction house. Definitely worth using a Backstage Pass on, especially because it's a really fun JDM car. Definitely fun to drift around, and definitely fun to just mess around with in general. Really cool pickup, super rare, only worth about 2 million in value, but a really rare car and really fun to play with. The DS3 Automobile, or the DS Automobiles DS3 Racing, weird name, not a rare car at all, only worth about 4 million. I wouldn't recommend using a Backstage Pass on this car at all. The BMW M3 GTR, not very rare anymore. Used to be kind of rare, very good for racing. Cool little pickup, but I wouldn't use a Backstage Pass on it. It's not super rare, and it's only worth about 6 to 7 million. Hot Wheels Bone Shaker has always been at about 6.5 million. It's still at about 6.5 or 7 million. It's not rare at all, and it's always sat in the same price point. So if you're gonna get this, just end up buying it. It's not really worth a Backstage Pass. The Colorado ZR2, not very rare at all, but is worth 8 to 10 million somehow. 10 million on a high end. I would more bank on it selling for 8 mil if anything. I don't think that it's gonna get 10 mil just because it is a truck. I mean, it's very good for playground games and stuff like that, but it's not something that a lot of people spend 10 million on, so just keep an eye out for that. But it is worth a lot of money right now. The 94 Honda Prelude, semi-rare, worth about 9 to 10 million. Very fun drift car, awesome JDM car. You could probably get 10 million for it, but I would lean more to the safe side of expecting to get 9 mil for it if you're going to pick it up. Moving on, we have the 1970 Buick GSX. It's rare because it's not on the market. That being said, I kind of have information on the markets of all of these cars due to prior experience and playing with the market for so long and all that type of stuff. But with the 1970 Buick GSX, I really don't have any information other than the car being worth 94K because I do own the car and I can see what I can post it for. I don't really have anything else other than that for this car. So Pick it up if you would like, but I don't really have any information, and it's not really worth anything. And it's not, or it is really rare. There is none on the market, but I don't know if that's something you would want to pick up. 2018 mini convertible. Somehow this car is extremely rare. There's none on the market. I myself was pretty petty with it and not only redeemed a Backstage pass for it, but I saw one on the market for millions and millions and millions and bought it just to have it because I like to collect rare cars. It's only worth 150K now, so probably not the best decision, but I was pretty petty and just wanted to own as many as I can, especially because I was mad at myself for not owning it in the first place and using a Backstage pass on it. So moving on, the 2018 KTM Expo GT4, only worth about 4 million, not rare at all, definitely not worth picking up. 2008 Maserati MC12 Forza is extremely rare, none are on the market, worth about 1.3 million. Awesome race car, awesome car to own in general, and a lot of the Maseratis are pretty rare and really cool to own, so definitely worth taking a look at. Apollo IE, not rare at all, worth about 6 million. That price has been steady and it's pretty good to make money, and I have an auction filter that works really well on it, but other than that, this car's definitely not worth using a Backstage pass on. Maserati Ghibli, very rare, none are on the market, only worth 300K. Probably not worth using a Backstage pass just because it's not that cool of a car, but if you're interested in it and you have no other way of getting it and it's not in the auction house, which it isn't, and you don't want to try to snipe it, then it might be worth picking up with the Backstage pass if you have one laying around. We'll go to the 280 SL first. Very rare. Another car I was pretty petty about. I spent an entire day playing a season to get a Backstage pass just to get this because I didn't have it. It's only worth about 1.3 million, but it is ultra rare and there is none on the market. You guys obviously know I don't really play the seasons just because I have max money and I have all the cars in the game, so there's really not that much of a point for me. But I did do it just to get this car, and it is really rare, so definitely worth taking a look at. This is probably the highlight of the video if you guys have watched this long. This car is extremely important. It's not rare, but if you get this car, it's worth 6 to 8 million, which is not the point. If you use 99 skill points on this car, you can redeem, using skill points, a Quartz Regalia Type D, or Quartz Regalia D, and that car is worth 10 to 11 million. So basically, for 99 skill points and a Backstage pass, you can get a car with 8 million and a car with 11 million on the high end, meaning it could be worth 19 million total. On the low end, you're gonna get 16 because this car's worth 6 mil on the low end, and the other car, the Regalia Type D, is worth 10 mil on the low end. So 16 to 19 million for these two cars if you choose to use your Backstage pass. So you get a 2-for-1 and you're gonna get the most money. Moving on from that, we have the 488 Pista. I don't know how to say it. I guess this is rare. There's none on the market. I have several and I've always had several. It's worth 1.8 million. I don't really see how it's rare, but it is. There's none on the market, so just keep an eye out for that. There's probably going to be more flooding in the market sometime soon. They get added to the playlist pretty often, so I wouldn't necessarily use a Backstage pass on it, but feel you have to, you can. The Hummer open top, not very rare at all, only worth about 2 million. Summing up the cars in the community vote, I'm pretty sure that the Wrangler Deberti edition, or Deberti design, or whatever the heck DD is going to win. I'll sum up both cars real quick anyways. The Wrangler DD is somehow rare and there's none on the market. It's worth 1.3 million. I have several, and when there was a lot on the market, nobody wanted them. Nobody would buy them even for like $1 million. So kind of weird, but there you go. The 67 Chevelle, semi-rare. They're worth about 3.2 million, and there is quite a few on the market, so they're definitely able to be picked up, so don't worry too much about that. Now let's run through a top 3 for money and a top 3 for rarity. My top 3 for money starts with number 1, the Regalia combo with 99 skill points. On the low end, like I said, for you, the Quartz Regalia and the other car on the low end, you'll get 16 million if you get the Regalia and the Regalia D with 99 skill points. On the high end, you're going to get 8 mil for the Regalia and 11 mil for the Regalia D, and that means you're going to pull in 19 million on the high end. So that's probably the most money you can make out of this Backstage pass, getting the most for your money, or the most for your pass. The second one is the 2018 Honda Civic because it's a guaranteed 10.4 million sale. A lot of cars go for around the 10 mil range, but this one's guaranteed it's going to get you 10.5 mil. It will sell due to it being so rare. So pick up the 2018 Honda Civic if you are looking for a car that is going to sell for the most money. Number 3, there's a tie between the 599 XX Evo and the Mustang RTR. That's because the Evo is an easy sale at about 10.2-ish million. It's not a guaranteed sale, but it is going to be a lot easier than these other cars because it's so desired. The Mustang RTR is a potential 12 mil. That being said, the price sits between 9 to 12 million or 10 to 12 million. And it could sell for 12, but it might not. But the potential of it selling for 12 makes it the potential second highest amount of money you can make using your Backstage Pass. So that's why I put the RTR in a tie with the Evo for the top 3 cars worth money. For the top 3 cars for Rarity, this is really just a personal opinion based on my experience in the auction house. As you guys know, I've been grinding for a long time. I've seen everything you can see in the auction house pretty much, and this is by no means the guaranteed 3 hardest cards to get. But in my personal experience, these are the 3 hardest cards it is for me to get, and the 3 hardest cards I've seen to get in the auction house in general, as per my viewers telling me and stuff like that. So number 1 is the 65 GTO. Everybody says this car is impossible to get without a Backstage Pass. That being said, I think I actually sniped mine. But it was really difficult and took a long time. So it is a really hard car to get. It could take a really large amount of time to snipe if you would try to go that route. I wouldn't, but yeah. The CRX Musion is the second most rare car in the game, just like the GTO. Extremely hard to get while sniping. Possible, I've done it, but it's very hard. So it might be worth using the Backstage Pass. Just keep an eye out. And if you can get that, good for you. 2017 Hoonigan Fiesta. I don't snipe Hoonigans all that much, but I have before, and this car is really hard to get, man. Like really hard. So that's my top 3 for Rarity. That's my top 3 for money. That's the entire full Backstage Pass money and Rarity guide. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, if you guys haven't, go check out my memberships. Go check out merch if you guys want some way to support the channel. And other than that, if you don't have any financial means to support the channel, then don't worry about it. It is by no means required. I just put those options out for you guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. That really supports the channel more than anything else. I appreciate you guys so much, and I hope this video helped with everything you need. And thank you for watching.